Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Animatic 2018 with Chelsey Cosplay.
Hello, everyone.
Alrighty, so just to start things off easy, how did you get started in the world of cosplay?
Actually, I had some friends back in high school, and they told me that there were actually these things called conventions where people would dress up in their favorite costumes as, like, you know, their favorite characters, and I was just blown away that this was actually a thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, how do I get started in this? I need to do this, like, right now. So yeah, that's how I found out about my first convention, which was actually Colossal Con back in 2010.
Awesome. That's one of my first one of my first times ever staffing a convention. So you and I may have run into each other without knowing it.
Tornado Con.
Yes, Tornado Con. Alrighty, I put everybody in the basement.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Best first con ever.
Actually, a little side story about that. I was there 2 weeks prior to that event with the convention head, and we were all hanging out. And I said, hey, what would happen if we had one? A tornado actually happened while we were there. And then we went in the basement. And then I was like, what would happen? And then, like, of course, 2 weeks later, we have a tornado during the convention.
So it's your fault.
Almost.
Yes.
So you have a love for Legend of Zelda, and you love to play Link. What was it like bringing him to life, and what drew you to Link?
I've always loved the games. It really brings me a sense of nostalgia from back when I was a kid. We used to play them like all the time, and Twilight Princess is such a beautiful game, and the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. I'd always see Twilight Princess links, and I just admired the amount of detail and attention to detail that they just put into the costumes, and I was like, I want to make that someday. I love Link. Like, he's just hilarious, and he's just wonderful, and he's just overcomes everything that's thrown at him. So yeah, I just had to make a Link costume.
Actually, I'm a big Twilight Princess fan myself. I actually have it on the GameCube before it came out on the Wii.
Ooh, that's awesome. But yeah, he's all about, like, courage, and honestly, I've needed to find a sense of courage in myself, so he's very inspiring. So yeah.
Good. He helps you move along. Yeah. So again, you actually like to do Harley Quinn as well. What drew you to her, and how much fun was it to make it? And then, of course, how hard was it to make the hammer?
Honestly, I used to be a huge fan of the Joker at first, and my first cosplay was the Joker. It was the classic Joker. But then Harley Quinn, she used to actually annoy me, believe it or not. And she really grew on me, and I just love her. She's so funny. She's just so silly. And, like, if you ever want to have fun at a con, like true fun, just where you don't care, just be Harley Quinn, because it really helps you just, you know, put yourself out there and just kind of like unleash your inner craziness. For the hammer, basically, I started with my original hammer that I made. Like, I went to Home Depot and I got one of those, like, concrete cardboard tubes, basically, and, like, it's about probably like this wide, however wide that is, like 14 inches wide probably. And then I cut it in half, and I put some foam on each side, and then I wrapped it in some foam just so it wasn't like a solid thing that was gonna hurt somebody. But yeah, and, like, I put some PVC pipe down at the bottom, and, like, a lot of people will use, like, a painter's stick so that it can retract and unscrew from the hammer, so that makes it easy for travel.
Yeah. That sounds wonderful, and it's very informative to learn how that process goes. So when you're looking to do a cosplay, where do you start? Do you start with the complexity of it, or do you more look for the simplicity of it?
Well, first I get overwhelmed, and I'm just like, what am I going to start on first? And honestly, I just try to pick a piece that makes the most sense. For example, for Starscream, I started with the helmet so that I could make sure that everything was proportional so that it would fit. Like, because you use the helmet as, like, your basic guide for all of the proportions. That kind of sets everything up, like, how wide does the chest need to be, how thin do the arms need to be, and, like, the legs and everything, because I don't want to look like a giant box just walking around. I want to have, like, some actual form, like, fitting parts.
Yeah, actually, I saw your Starscream actually when you debuted it. I was actually at the con that you debuted it at.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, and then it says in your bio that you also happen to do judge cosplay. Is it more of a challenge to judge it or to be in it?
I would definitely say it's more nerve-wracking when you're actually a contestant. A judge, it's kind of like, you know, laid back. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm judging the costumes. I'm not the one in the spotlight. I'm just sitting back here, you know, trying to judge craftsmanship or what have you. But yeah, like, definitely being a contestant is far more stressful. However, like, I've been in some predicaments where I haven't had much time to get ready for the masquerade as a judge, because you have to judge the costume contest all day usually, in pre-judging, and then you have like an hour to get ready. So I had to scramble to get into Legolas one time, and that was a lot of fun. So it goes both ways.
Alrighty, now you have a very good ability at doing makeup art, as well for your cosplays. How did you figure it out, or was it more of a trial and error getting down to that perfection?
Honestly, it's definitely a trial and error. Like, I'll do my first makeup test, and like, I'll either be proud of it or just like sort of proud of it and kind of like, oh, well, I could do this better. And then, like, it's really amazing to see how far you've come, like, 6 months after you've been doing the makeup as opposed to when you first started doing the makeup. So, like, each time you do this, you're learning new things about it, like how you can make it better.
Nice, nice. So, what would you say was one of the hardest cosplays you had to do to date, but you still love getting into every time?
Oh, gosh. That's a tough question. Probably Starscream. I had some mental breakdowns about that one because it's so hard to get everything to line up, and you got to figure out how am I going to make all these pieces stay on my body and not fall all over the place. Like, I don't want to walk down the convention hall missing a wing that fell like 30 feet back. So you've got to keep all that stuff in mind, and it can be stressful getting everything to work out, but you'll eventually get it.
As I say, it looked like it would be a complicated piece to put on. What advice would you have for fans that are going to start doing anything or whatever character they want to do? What would be a piece of advice to give to them?
Absolutely always cosplay as whatever you want. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can do it. It does not matter your race, your gender, your body build, whatever. It does not matter. You can do it, and you'll rock it.
Alrighty, and now, also, to our friends that do crossplay, what advice would you have for them about being gender or not defined, not defined by that? Like, I mean, I like seeing a lot of people that do gender bends, or people who they're like, this is who I am, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show the world that this is who I am. So what advice would you have as, like, Starscream is a male character, and you do that and you do it well. So what was it like for you to do that, and then on top of that, advice to give to those people?
Well, most of my characters are male. Like, probably 8 out of 10 of those cosplays are male. Yeah. So, honestly, I don't let it stop me. I just cosplay as whoever I want. It's not like I single those characters out because they're male and I want to cosplay them because they're male. I just like them, and I just want to be them. I want to become them as much as I can. So I definitely don't let gender hinder me from choosing a cosplay that I really want to do, because your work is going to be the most passionate when you're cosplaying is something that you're really passionate about. So, yeah, that's the advice I have to anybody.
I'm not gonna lie, I like some of the gender bend ones that like really challenge like what should be the character sometimes. I really like that. So again, this year's Animatic Con theme is villains. What villain would you love to do from one of your favorite shows or games if you could?
Oh my gosh, probably a dream would be Captain Phasma. That would be amazing. I would love to do that. I don't have the money for that. Also, could you count a raptor as a villain? Yeah. Maybe in Jurassic Park, kind of. Well, sort of. A raptor is definitely my most dream cosplay of all time.
I want to just be an animal.
I want to be a raptor. Like straight up Jurassic Park raptor, like legit. That's my dream.
I say, as a scientist, I can help you. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts? So what are your thoughts on the message of Animatic Con and how it reaches out and helps people with autism and their families?
I think it's absolutely amazing. I love doing charity work. I'm a member of the 501st Legion, so that is what we do. And it's amazing to be able to cosplay, have fun, and yet you're here for a cause too. Like, it's just awesome. It could not be better.
I mean, again, it's a wonderful convention and they help out so many people. So again, kind of wrapping things up, how can fans find you online? And then a wonderful message to all the fans that have given you support and love throughout the many years that you've been doing this.
Oh my gosh. I am on Instagram as Chelsey Cosplay. I'm on Facebook as Chelsey Cosplay. That's Chelsey with a Y. And then cosplay, obviously. That's pretty much all of my social media accounts that I actually pay attention to at this moment in time because I'm a college student and it's very difficult, but I'm always bouncing back and forth between those. I also do have an email. It's chelseacosplay@yahoo.com. And love you guys. I really appreciate all of the love and support that you've given. Like, I have the most supportive, I don't want to call you guys fans. That just sounds weird to me, but like, you guys are so supportive and I really appreciate everything that you do for me and that you guys actually pay attention to what I'm doing because I'm a dork. So I appreciate it. You guys make me feel special.
Again, Chelsey, it's been wonderful talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.